Yo guys, Impulse191 here, bringing you a showdown video with a twist. In today's video, I am going to be using, Noel's sets. So, Noel's a girl that I know, and she makes pretty interesting sets, shall we say. Everybody who knows her knows that her sets are, well, we'll go with fun. So they're not really the most competitive sets in the world, but so basically she wanted me to do a video with her sets as a team, and she's been wanting me to do this for a while, so I decided, well, with Sun and Moon dropping and obviously there's different Pokemon, I'd give it a shot, see how it went. So I've got this team what she gave me, so you're going to see it on screen now. As you can see, we have got Mimikyu as a lead. It's got leftovers, and it's got Toxic, Infestation, Rest and Substitute. It's got max HP and defense. So a lot of these Pokemon are going to be very defensive, just a disclaimer there. Next we've got Wishy Washy with Scald, Tearful Luck, Aqua Ring and Rest. I would never use Aqua Ring and Tearful Luck in standard competitive battles, but you're going to see how this works out, which is pretty fun. It's got max defense, max HP, and the ability Schooling changes its form, so it starts a knot as it seems. We have got Comfy the Comfy. It's got leftovers with the ability that gives all of its moves except for Calm Mind +3 priority. It's got Calm Mind, Leech Seed, Draining Kiss and Floral Healing. Unfortunately, we didn't know at the time, but for single battles, Floral Healing heals your opponent, so that's something that obviously we'll learn in this battle. It's got a defensive set again. Next up we have got Ash Greninja. Well, we've got Greninja at Life Orb with Battle Bond for the Ash Greninja, Water Shuriken, Dark Pulse, Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, pretty standard on the EVs. We have got Toxapex with leftovers, Regenerate, our Baneful Bunker, Stockpile, Recover and Liquidation. With a max special defense, max HP. So very, very bulky. And finally we have got this guy. What's this guy called? Sarina, I'm not sure. It's got Choice Scarf and it's got Queenly Majesty, which protects itself from priority moves. It's got max attack, max speed, but it's not very fast even with its Choice Scarf. It's got High Jump Kick, Trop Kick, which is a fighting move with 70 power. No, it's a grass move with 70 power. That lowers the attack of the opponent by 1 stage every time, so it's really good. And it's got U-turn and Play Rough. So we're going to go into this battle and see how this battle turned out. Just a disclaimer though, it is a pretty long battle, but I'll go over it best I can. And yeah, oh god, here we go. Now I know I said in the last video that my next video would be a live video, but obviously I wasn't expecting to do this, I was just having a little bit of fun, but it turned out to be amazing, so let's go. As you can see, my opponent's got an interesting team. I'm not exactly sure what all of these guys can do, but we're going to get straight into it. So as I said before, I lead with Mimikyu, and he leads with Glossopy Pod or whatever this guy's called, and he uses First Impression. Breaks my disguise, and I'm going to be able to get a substitute up. So I'm going to try Toxic, but it misses, and he goes for a Leech Life, but we obviously resist that, and it's all good. So I go for Infestation, thinking it does more for some reason per turn. I thought it did 25%. I should have just gone for another Toxic, but oh well. So he's going to be able to break my sub quite a few times now because of Liquidation, and it does more damage. So I'm going to have to switch out, and I go into Pex, who can obviously eat that up. And he knows that he's not wanting to stay in here, so he goes into this guy, and I go for the Stockpile. I had no idea what this guy's ability was, so I just continue to be foolish. I stay in. He Earth Powers on my on my Protect, which is fine. He goes for the Shadow Ball and gets the special defense drop. So I'm just going to Stockpile away for a couple of turns while I think it's a great plan. So unfortunately it's not a great plan, as we're going to see in a moment. I get the third Stockpile up, and I'm not sure if Stockpile works an additional time if you've had a defense drop. So I'm going to go for that one more time, but obviously that fails. So now I think I'm all fully set up, let's do this. I go for Liquidation, he's got his move, and he gets the pluses. So this is really, really bad. I know that I can't keep hitting him with this, and I can't do anything to him really, so he reveals that he's got Giga Drain though, so that's another thing to look out for. I go into this sweeper and take the attack pretty well, as I go for a attack, lower his attack, which is completely pointless, and I take so much damage it's untrue. I'm pretty much trying to wither this thing down, and then it reveals that it's got Shore Up, which is obviously a recovery move, so I'm thinking at this point I've probably lost the battle. But that's not the case, we're going to keep trooping on. I do a bit more damage to it, and then obviously it takes him down with a Giga Drain. So now I'm going to bring in Greninja, and because it's not got no special defense boost, I go for the Hydro Pump and take it out. We get the battle bond up, and now the tides have turned. So we've got Ash Greninja. I'm going to go for that Water Shuriken and maul this little bee thing. That goes down so quickly, it's untrue. And then he's going to bring this guy back in, and I can't really do too much to him, and I don't want to take that first impression, so I'm going to switch back out into Pex, take that damage, and then obviously he switches up. I go for the stockpile, now his guy's gone, but then I realise that this thing can poison me, and I don't want that. But at the same time, he's also weak to water, so I go for the liquidation, trade off, so he ends up switching out. I protect up to see what he's doing, and he tries trapping me, and I know that now I've got to switch because obviously I don't want to be in a situation where I'm trapped. So I go into Comfy and stick on a Leech Seed. He goes for a Poison Jab, which is obviously super effective, but we're well invested into our HP stats. So he switches out as I set up a Calm Mind. I know this thing's a physical attacker, and I'm not sure how much I'm going to do to it, so I go for the Draining Kiss, which obviously gets ignored because he's got the bloody thingy bob, the Majesty. So I've got to switch out again because I wasn't sure if it actually works on I thought it was only status moves. I wasn't sure if it would work on attacking moves as well, but it turns out that it does. So now we're in this little situation where we're going to go around in circles for a little bit. So I'm going to switch out because I don't want to get trapped. I go into Wishy Washy. We get the schooling form up, and he goes for an attack as I set up the Aqua Ring. And Aqua Ring's going to recover 12%, I think it is, each turn. I'll have to double check that again. I go for a Scald to see if I can get anything off. I get the burn, which is really good. Obviously this thing's rendered useless now. Even with the burn though, with a super effective attack, it does quite a bit, but obviously it's not going to do too much. We're going to gain back our 12% HP from Aqua Ring and Leftovers, and we're going to be in a pretty good situation. Oh, I just hit the mic. That's going to be really bad. So we're going to finish this thing off, get some HP back as he brings out his Glospy Pod thing. He knocks me all the way down, but unfortunately it doesn't knock me out of the schooling form, which I guess happens at the end of the turn. But because we rest, it gets around it. So we're just looking at the numbers. He does a fair amount of damage each time he attacks, but after the recovery from both Aqua Ring and Leftovers, we're going to be in a pretty decent situation. So I'm going to go for the tier 4 look to lower his attack a little bit. He goes for it, leaves me on 9, and now I'm going to use this opportunity to rest up, knowing that his next attacks are going to be weaker. He obviously understands that too, so he switches out, goes into this guy, and goes for a Leech Life, sorry. That's not going to do too much though. We're going to be able to take a couple of those hits, and I am going to hit it with a Scald, because I did not know what this guy's ability was. I didn't look, and I'm foolishly fishing for a burn. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get a burn, because at this point in the battle, I still haven't looked. His ability is something like Water Bubble or something crazy like that. It stops him from being burnt. So at this point, I've probably realised that I can't do that to him anymore. So I lower his attack a little bit as he goes into this guy. I go for another Scald. We do not get the burn, and I figured it's a good time to keep fishing for it. But first we need to get him lowered on the attack. As we go for the Scald though, he predicts that, doesn't want to risk being in for too long, and he switches out. So now it's a matter of me getting my HP back yet again. So the best way for me to do that is to apparently Scald, because we're still being foolish. So we take the leech life, and obviously now we kick in for the tearful look, and we realise at this point we're at turn 53 in the battle. So it's not looking good. He can't get past my wishy-washy, and he's really trying to go for it. I guess at this point he's trying to PP stall me. On the conversation what we had in the chat, he did say something about he was trying to PP stall me, but obviously that's not going to work right now. I've got lots of PP left. Haha. Anyway, so I'm going to go for the tearful look, and he is going to start with his poison jabs, starting a new approach, a new tactic to try and take me out. So he's fishing for a poison. I've obviously got the rest, but it's going to set me back a little bit, burn up some more turns, and he obviously knows that. We get so unlucky, we can't get that burn we've been really looking for. We're going to have to go for the tearful look yet again. But he's going to switch out. And now we go into speed mode. As I'm sure you don't really want to watch this part of the battle, we're going to speed it up, go over this real quick what's happening. You're going to see that I'm going to take some poison, I'm going to recover it off, it's going to be a little bit of a cycle. Circle cycle. So we finally hit turn 100 in the battle, and he's starting to dish out some real damage. He's going to go for a leech life. He gets a high roll, I think, twice. I go for the tearful look, but it's not looking good for me HP wise. So I'm going to try. He gets the crit anyway, so it didn't matter. And he finally gets past my guy. So at this point I'm going to leech seed, and he goes into his guy, and this is where we find out, oh, he's getting a phone call. So there's going to be a little bit more circling around. I'm going to go into Mimikyu to fodder him off basically to get this out. I go for the substitute, forgetting the liquidation can get straight past it, and I decide best way I can get around this guy is by going for Toxic. He gets a crit on me, which is a bit unfortunate, but now we're going to be able to set up Leech Seed and that as well, so not too bad really. Anyway, we're going to start sipping away some of its HP. I decide to go for the Floral Healing at this point to recover myself, and we realise that because it's a single battle it doesn't work on yourself and instead does it to your opponent, which really sucks. He goes for the Sludge Bomb, obviously we predict that, go into Pex, eat it up, and we're going to be able to stall out a little bit. I go for the attack just to get some damage, try and take out the fire guy, I can't remember the name of, even though I've just seen it. And at this point literally just stalling for turns. So now we go for the Leech Seed. The battle's on what turn? 115. I'm going strong. Pex really is a beast of a wall. It ignores pretty badly. We're going to chip away at some of that HP that we gave him back for no apparent reason as he goes for the Dragon Pulse. He stays in, which was a pretty bad play. He finally decided that he couldn't be bothered with it or something, and he gets around it. So I'm going to go for the Protect just to stall out this Toxic. I'm obviously Toxic as well, but I figured getting rid of that guy seems like it's worth it. So now I'm going to go into the Greninja because I know that he's going to go for the webs again. And we go for a Dark Pulse, get the KO on this thing, and that only leaves his last guy. I don't really want to stay in with this guy, so I'm going to go back into Pex because I figured I want to get some top poison on it. So he goes for the Sucker Punch, obviously nothing happens this turn, but I'm going to go for the Baneful Bunker one more time. He goes for the attack, gets himself some poison. So that's going to start chipping away at him. Finally we get some damage on this thing. He goes for the leech slide to recover himself back up, but that's fine, we've got recover as well. Now it's just a matter of getting that leech seed up. He goes for the sucker punch, which is good because that means we don't take any damage this turn. We get the leech seed up, and Comfy's done his job now. Comfy's really done his job at this point. We go for the attack, we get a crit, which doesn't really matter because it does like practically nothing anyway. And I'm just gonna waste out a turn and get that draining kiss, and that's gonna be the end of the game. So good game, Sam. I did tell you that I was going to be posting this, so hopefully you did come and check out the channel. So even though this was a pretty long battle, hopefully you made it to the end, and if you did enjoy it, don't forget to hit that like, share and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Laters!